I'm presenting my thesis called Moral Bioenhancement, Emotional Education and Political Liberties. In my paper, I explore the contemporary debate about moral bioenhancements and its implication for the issue of individual freedom. Particularly, I will critique Julian Savulescu and Ingmar Persson, considering their book called Unfit for the Future, The Need for Moral Enhancement. What is moral bioenhancement? According to them, moral bioenhancement is the implementation of biomedical intervention to directly modify the biological and psychological basis of human moral motivation. With the help of substances like oxytocin or serotonin, which would increase cooperation and promote trust and reduce our aggressivity, they think individuals could conceivably improve their ability to be good. They investigated the possibility of creating a drug that can increase the ability to experience empathy and solidarity, and guide the subject toward a more just and altruistic behaviour. In their book, they argue that the most pressing problems of the world, which threaten the planet, will not be resolved unless the genetic predisposition of humans, which prevent us from feeling empathy for unknown or distant people, is changed. So thanks to new technologies, human beings have more power to decide about the fate of the planet. But at the same time, their moral abilities remain the same. So the main thesis is that moral bioenhancement is required to tackle the new dangers arising from technological progress. So with new technology, we have more responsibilities. I identified three main problems with this proposal, and then I offer at the end of the paper a possible way out. Firstly, the concepts of good and evil are not written in neurons but are cultural. Appeal for moral enhancement can make us be more docile, but cannot tell us what is morally good action. Morality is cultural dependent and contextual dependent. The second issue is that a biomedical moral enhancement of this kind jeopardizes metaphysical freedom. And thirdly, violates political liberties. As I agree with them that moral motivation comes from emotion, I would rather propose an emotional education. I will talk about this later. I would like now to spend some words about the issue of metaphysical freedom and political liberties. So, talking about metaphysical freedom, I'm supporting John Harris' critics on moral bioenhancement. He says that moral bioenhancement forces us to act in a certain way, even if we have no rational reason to do so. For example, if Peel prevents us from being racist, without us having the possibility to understand why we are not racist, this compromises not only our freedom, but also our autonomy. With regard to the particular reduction of freedom, Harris underlined the indispensability of what he called freedom to fall, meaning the possibility to be wrong or even choose to act badly. Because without it, doing good will no longer be a choice. It would be impossible to speak about acting virtuously anymore. Regarding my third point about political liberties, John Rawls famously said that justice should be political, not metaphysical. In his critiques of moral enhancement, Rob Sparrow paraphrases Rawls to say that freedom is also a relation between persons. It is political, not just metaphysical. Therefore, we need to discuss if the use of biomedical means whether or not reduce our metaphysical freedom, reduce our political liberty. Sparrow Major's concern is related to who would be in charge of implementing a mandatory moral bioenhancement program. It risks being subjected to political coercion and potentially a government attempting to make a population more docile through the obligatory intake of oxytocin, for example. So Sparrow also argued that dialogue is important between educator and the educated. The educator must always justify the norms that have shaped the educational project and its content with reasons that the person being educated should accept. Therefore, to justify why a certain educational program has been created, we need a logical argument to explain to each citizen. In this case, as for Harris, reason increases freedom of choice. But there is a difference. It is not an internal reason to the subject, but is a public and founded on intersubjective dialogue. In contrast, a drug on the individual without leaving space for dialogue. It produces the motivational drive to act in a certain way without providing the necessary reason for justification. In fact, there cannot be a dialogue exchange between the drug itself and the subject, while there is between the educator and the person educated. In the last session, I will present my proposal of emotional education. I present a case study called Second Step, which is a primary prevention program designed to deter aggression and promote social competence of children from preschool through grade 9. The curriculum is organized around 3 areas of social emotional competence: empathy, social problem solving, and anger management. This is a program of moral enhancement based on a type of emotional education, aims to recognize, manage and develop the best feelings, those generated by a good use of empathy. With no reason to take any drug who can jeopardize our freedom of choice, even if it's metaphysical or political.